What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys about the current what's going on with the BMW. Let me make some adjustments to the camera real quick. Alright, as you notice, camera quality is much different, audio quality is much different. That's because my GoPro decided to go peace out on me, so that's why there hasn't been a video for a minute. I didn't do too much on the car, to be fair, so I'm not too hurt by it, because the last video would have been me scraping undercoating out of the front wheel wells to figure out things. It would have also featured me ordering WN fenders and having a terrible time with that, because I ordered one set of fenders in the inner wings, so inner and outer wings, and the inner wings, one of them had a pretty big bend on it. I can fix that relatively easily, but the fenders were pretty jacked up, like pretty jacked up. So I was like, I'd let them know. I messaged them and they're like, cool, we understand, file a claim at UPS, we will send you another set. The other set was just as bad. So they filed another claim with UPS. I got a refund. I'm gonna wait for MVP to come out with their fenders. I got some MVP parts in the back. We'll talk about those later. You probably already know what those are. I got them from Ireland Engineering in SoCal. Probably should have worn my Ireland Engineering shirt, but we got the Milwaukee and a Rogue Fab. But basically, I'm gonna probably wait for them to release the their fenders. MVP does, and if Ireland has them, I'll just drive to SoCal and pick them up myself. At least that way I can ensure they're much better quality. Although I will tell you this much, the MVP boxes that I got for the parts I currently have from them, like the boxes are much thicker and the packing is much better done than WN. So take that as you will, but my luck with WN has not been good so far. So there you go, a quick WN review in case you need it. But anyways, so what's going on with the BMW? Clearly it's still alive because I have parts for it. But basically we're changing a lot of things. So I think in the last video I hadn't pulled the subframe yet. I cannot remember. I don't think I did. But the subframe is pulled from the car now, the front subframe, not the rear. The rear will be gone next. The front is completely gone at this point, and the reason why it's completely gone is because we are no longer using it. I was originally going to use the 2002 front end and then convert the front subframe and then convert the steering over to the E21 steering, and then I decided to come up with an even better idea. So what we're going to be using on the car is the Miata front and rear setup. So I'm not saying we're going to use the subframes themselves, because I might just have the everything attached directly to the chassis itself, except for of course the arms and stuff won't basically attach to the chassis itself. But there may not be a front and rear subframe anymore. And the reason why is because it'll keep the weight down on the car, and then we can just reinforce it by using more tube. So we're basically going to be building a tube chassis for the BMW. It needs a transmission tunnel, it needs floorboards, it needs the frame rails are pretty rusty. I'd rather just replace them completely. And when I was doing the calculations for the cost of all this, I was like, Andrew, you're a fabricator, you fabricated things before and made subframes before. Why don't I just cut all that away and just give it his own tube chassis? And that's where we're at today. So the BMW R02 is going to become some super crazy race machine made of a bunch of fucking different parts to make it run. And that's pretty much what we're making now. So it's going to be a very unique but very interesting project at this point. So for the diff, we're probably going to go with the Ford 8.8 since we're moving to the Miata suspension. They already have 8.8 diffs that are made to fit the Miata subframe, even though we're not going to be using the rear subframe. But the key point to that is if they make mounts that can fit the rear subframe, they also make axles. So we're going to want those axles for our car. So we're going to be looking to get those, the 8.8 diff, 8.8 axles. The 8.8 has a lot of accessories, so you can get an LSD and everything for it. I do have an LSD that I have for my from a Z3. I believe it was a Z3, but it was a Torsen, and that's no longer going to be used, of course. So I might actually, you guys might get a video, and I've seen a lot of questions about this on forums. I might pop open the differential on my E93 wagon, or E91 wagon, sorry about that, and I might actually see if I can fit the Torsen LSD from the Z3 medium case into the wagon medium case. And if that works out, then my wagon has LSD, which would be pretty freaking sick. So that's one thing. So the transmission, we have a ZF 5-speed. I might keep the ZF 5-speed in it temporarily, but I need measurements from the ZF 6-speed and a T56. Most likely we're going to be upgrading to one of those because I want a 6-speed in this car. I just have to figure out which 6-speed I want. And it'd be pretty cool to have a 6-speed. It'd be pretty cool to have the T56 specifically, because I hear that one's really freaking good as far as power and everything. And it has a ton of aftermarket support. You can get custom ratios and everything like that, which makes it a little bit nicer to deal with. So most likely a T56, but I do not want to be closed-minded and close my mind to the ZF 6-speed. So, besides that, our engine still in the same place it's always been. We have to start ordering parts for that at some point, but the engine's probably super far off now because of the chassis build that's going to be going on. Fucking mosquito, man. It is very dark, and mosquitoes seem to love me. We live near the marina and where I'm at, so basically very much mosquitoes everywhere. That's pretty much it. Those are the basics of the plans. I don't want to get into too much detail. At this point, I will tell you this much. I bought a 10-gallon fuel cell for the car. I kind of wish I got a bigger fuel cell for the car at this point, because I may as well have gotten the 14 gallons since I'm doing all this custom stuff. But maybe maybe the more trunk space will be nice in a flatter trunk. So I'll try to justify it in my head a little bit, because 14 gallons would have been nicer to drive the car and road trip on. But I mean, the car's not going to be going on that many road trips. It's not like I'm going to be driving the shit to SoCal and shit all the time. So maybe not too bad, but then I always think about what the possibility is I wanted to drive it down there. It would have been nicer to have a bigger fuel tank, right? So last but not least, of course, since we're building a tube chassis, we have to put it together somehow, right? Well, that's what the mark on the hat means, right? Let me get a little closer for you guys. There you go. So that's RF, Rogue Fabrication. I ordered their tube bender and their Versa notcher. So 2 big items. I didn't order the cart though, because I felt like I can build my own cart, so I'm going to build my own cart. And since I didn't plan on using all the attachments their cart's actually pretty sick. If you are going that hard, get the cart. It's actually pretty sick. But I just was like, I could just build my own. I did order their casters and everything, so I will be building my own cart for that soon. But we did order the tube bender, the Versa notcher. We'll be ordering a tube as soon as I get the bender put together and get at least the bottom portion of the frame for the BMW design, because I'm not really worried about the portion that's the roll cage. We at least want to get the bottom portion of the frame designed and placed in, so we can actually put the car on wheels again. Of course, with that being said, it's going to be a long time. A lot of steering components and everything steering rack and stuff have to be mapped out to make sure we can get everything in the way we want it to. So it's going to be a lot of research and stuff. I mean, I think we may end up having to shorten the rack too, so it's going to be a pain in the ass just to think about it. But that's where we're at. It's going to be a lot of changes coming as usual. I feel like all my cars tend to go too far and then I don't end up finishing them, but this one's more for the long term. Long story short, I mean, I originally wanted an O2. I ended up with E21s because they were a cheaper option for me at the time, and they were a good learning car. This was when I first got into fabrication, when I first got my first E21 like 4 or 5 years ago, I think, at this point. And that's when I first got into it. Ever since then, I've gotten a lot better. So we're going to take this one very seriously, and we're going to get very, very far. And also the timeline for this one's very, very long. So I just want to give you guys an update on the car. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below. It's going to be fun. If you guys want to answer a question for me personally, let me know if I should keep air suspension on the O2 build, or if I should just put it in my wagon. I do have the the struts and everything from the E21 are not going to fit. I'll probably just throw them away or sell them or something. But the air management and the tank and everything can go into the wagon or the O2. I just have to decide what I want to do. I don't know if I want to put the O2 on air or not, but I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be a pretty sick car on air. Let me look around real quick, make sure I didn't forget anything. Tube bender, Versa notcher, everything there. Engine insignia, MVP parts we talked about. Yeah, I think we're good. Anyways, guys, we have a lot coming up. We'll see how the next video goes. I'll have to think of what to record and what to do. I might actually, because I've talked about it before, I might actually start recording my calisthenics progress and me working out, doing the calisthenics stuff. Or I forgot what the other thing was, but I do want to start recording some type of videos, like some higher quality videos with the Sony camera. So maybe the GoPro dying is a blessing and I can finally start transitioning and figuring out how to use this camera to record some cooler things. In any case, guys, peace out. Have a nice night. I'll catch you guys in the next video.